There we go. Okay, I tried to go live, but it wouldn't work with the thing that I have holding my phone. So I've got everything all set up here for my funny cake pie. Mom's is in the oven, but here's what we noticed, and I think I mentioned it. I have a copy of the cookbook recipe, and in the cookbook, you put the chocolate layer on the pastry and then put the cake batter on top. What Emmy did is she actually kind of poured the chocolate over the top. So Mom did it the way the cookbook says, and I'm going to do it the way that Emmy did it, and then we're going to compare. She just went to check her pie. She's going to be over in just a minute. So here's what you're supposed to do. So I've got my shortening. It's a 1/4 cup of shortening, and I'm going to have to get a knife. Hang on. I don't have a kitchen that looks like hers either, nor do I have a video assistant. Okay, my oven is preheating to 375, and then it's how much sugar? It's a 1/2 cup of sugar. So a 1/4 cup of shortening and a 1/2 cup of sugar, and I brought my mixer over here. It doesn't usually live here, but I thought it would be easier to do it that way. I'm not used to it being over here. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the paddle. I don't have a hand mixer. I never use a hand mixer. I probably should get one again, but I never use one. So I'm gonna cream that together. Can't see in my bowl. And then I'm gonna add, I think it's 1 egg. It is, it's 1 egg. All right, so interesting little fact here. The pie crust that I'm using is actually probably not the pie crust all of you use, because I'm a little pie crust challenged. Let me do my... Try to get that fluffy, I guess like a cake, I'm assuming. I get the lumps out of the... Okay, I think that looks good. It looks like that. So I think that's okay. So I use a pie crust. I struggle with pie crust. So I use a pie crust that actually a friend that I worked with years ago gave me the recipe. She called it a Mennonite pie crust, and probably some of you do use it. I'll tell you in a minute. I can't concentrate and do that at the same time. Okay, so now I'm supposed to add, half a teaspoon of vanilla, right? So she did like a foop, but I don't feel like I don't have to measure vanilla. And put that in. I already sifted my flour and my baking powder. So I've got that in here, and that's a cup of flour and a teaspoon of baking powder. So I'm gonna alternate, just like I would if I were baking a cake. Only she mixed this by hand, so I'm gonna do that with my scraper because I feel like it's so little batter that it's fine this way. And then I've got a 1/2 cup of milk, and I'm gonna put that in. Okay, so my pie crust recipe is, the original recipe I was given was a cup of shortening and 2 cups of flour, and you cream that together, or I'm sorry, cut that in. And then you take a 1/2 cup measure, or you can take a liquid measure to a 1/2 cup, crack an egg in there, and then a teaspoon of vinegar, and then fill it the rest of the way to 1/2 cup with ice cold water. And then you go ahead and toss that together, roll it out, wrap it, and chill it for an hour. So I've modified that a little bit, and the best success that I have is with just a little over 1/2 cup of shortening, and I forgot where I just ended. I don't know anyway. So I got flour, I got milk, and I use a 1/2 cup of shortening, but I use a little bit, and this is probably heresy, but I use a little bit of the butter flavored Crisco in that because I like the butter taste. And then I use a little more water, so I probably am just shy of 1/2 cup of water. Here comes, or just shy of 3/4 cups of water. Here's Mom. Come on over, Mom. How's your pie doing?
It's getting nice and brown on the top.
Okay. So she did
I turned the oven down just a hair. It says 375.
I know.
But I think it's
It's too much.
I think so. I put the guard around.
Come around, say hi. There she is.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, we're not live.
Hi.
I'm just recording. I couldn't
Okay.
get it to go live on that stand.
I put the pie crust guard around it too because the crust is getting
I'm a little worried about that. Okay.
Yeah.
And Miriam, you said you tried to blind bake your crust and it burned, and I would think that it's so little filling that it would
It's
do
really
that. Plus, there's
pretty
no.
thin.
Is this
Listen.
what your batter looked like?
Yep.
Okay.
It's
So
pretty thin. When you put it in the pie, I thought, oh my goodness, it said 9-inch, but I thought, oh, but it is. It's puffed up nice.
okay. All right. So I also have here's another half cup of sugar and a 1/4 cup cocoa, right?
Yep.
And it said I am woefully unprepared. It
A
said
1/3 cup of hot water.
right. So you didn't boil your water, right?
I did
Just
not. I made
tap
it
water.
hot. Well, a little hotter than as hot as you can get.
I'm
out of the
thinking,
tap.
like you said, it's kind of like the chocolate pudding cake. And when we do
Yeah.
the chocolate pudding cake, I just get my water super hot.
Right.
Or as hot
You
as
just
I
want
can.
this hot enough so that it's not going to just turn into clumps. Because
Right.
you want it to be smooth.
And I
you
think
put
she
it
put
in
some vanilla in this too, but
half
I'm
a
going to wait.
teaspoon.
It's a 1/3 cup of hot water?
Yep.
Okay.
And a half a teaspoon of vanilla. I only know this because I just did this. Otherwise, I wouldn't.
So, anyway, with the pie crust, that's what I do. So, I just use a little more. And I just want to mention, I have Grandma Schrock's rolling pin here. And sometimes I use Aunt Martha's rolling pin because she gave me this many years ago when I was saying I didn't know how to make a pie. And
Because you said you didn't have a rolling pin.
and then I said I didn't. She couldn't understand why I wouldn't make a pie. And Ada Marie, you'll have to tell her this. And then she said, well, you could try a graham cracker crust. And I said, well, I've done that. So she came. I was visiting. She came to the restaurant the next day and brought me a rolling pin.
That's what she
So
did.
I brought it home in my suitcase. I used it for a long time until I went to Grandma's auction and I bought that rolling pin. So, okay.
They're very much the same.
Very much the same, except Aunt Martha's isn't on rollers.
The ball.
Yeah, but I like this sometimes because it's smaller. So sometimes I use this, sometimes I use Grandma's. Okay, so I think I'm ready to go. So I've got my pie crust. I chilled it because I'm pie crust challenged. Like I said, I can't make a pretty pie,
Pretty.
but I think it's going to be okay.
It's beautiful.
All right, so now we're going to put the hot water into the chocolate stuff. So this really is a lot like the chocolate pudding cake that I like to make. The one that's like, you put the batter in the bottom and then you put the, but you don't put the water in it. You put it's brown sugar, cocoa, and sugar. And then I use a little bit of instant coffee. You sprinkle it over the top of the cake batter, and then you pour the hot water right straight over, and then you put it in the oven, and then it flips. So she's saying this is gonna flip, and I gotta put a little vanilla in it.
It's kind of like similar to what we used, the cinnamon flop.
Right. Is that in the Mennonite cookbook too?
I don't know. It's one we made forever, and I know they used to make it at the corner. Okay, now you're putting that in the bottom.
I'm gonna put this in the bottom, which is
the opposite
not
way.
the way the recipe says to do it, but the way she said her recipe said to do it. But then she named somebody else. She said the recipe came from a Barbara somebody.
Yeah, it says it right here.
No, does it?
Barbara.
Oh, okay. So it was from the Mennonite.
Lawyer from Telford,
That's
Pennsylvania.
her, but she didn't
She
do
did
it.
it backwards from what was her name on Facebook?
Yeah,
She did it backwards from what?
Emmy.
Emmy. She did it backwards.
But that's okay. I mean, it looked good.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna spread it
I'm gonna
out.
go check my pie.
Okay, she's gonna check her pie. So I'm gonna spread it out. It doesn't look like a lot of batter at all. Like, let me see. See? I'm worried about that, but I'm just gonna, I'm gonna trust it. It's got baking powder in it. I'm gonna try to get every little bit off my spatula. How's everybody doing? I miss you guys. I actually was gonna come to Ohio this year, but obviously we're not doing that. So I think we should do something like this. Maybe we can plan to sing together or something. Okay. All right, so that's that. And then she took this chocolate, which it's super thin. It's like not even chocolate syrup consistency. And she kind of poured it into the spoon so it wouldn't just hit the batter. I'm gonna go like around. Hopefully not wreck my pie crust in the process, because I'm known for that. Okay. Very thin. So it's just spreading all over the top of the pie. Okay. I don't know. So I'm gonna watch it. I think I'm gonna set my kitchen timer for 25 minutes so that I can put my guard over the top if I want. I'm gonna I cleaned my kitchen up a little bit, but honestly, if you guys were coming over, I probably wouldn't scrub my kitchen. You know, it would just be the way it is. Okay, I'm gonna go with 25 minutes because I'm thinking I'm probably gonna have to put my guard on that, right? My trusty little guard. Boy, I think I might have bought this in Ohio. No, I think I bought it in Arthur, actually. So I've got this. I'm gonna keep it over here, and I will be back once Mom's pie is out of the oven. We'll shoot a video with that. Okay, hey, good to see you guys, bye. So here we are over at Mom's, and that is pretty. So Mom, how long did you end up?
It was actually around 30 minutes, and I turned it, the last 5 minutes, I turned it down to 350 because it was getting too brown.
And you put the crust guard?
I put the crust guard on it about halfway through.
Okay, maybe I'll go back
brown.
and change my timer. Did you test it with a toothpick?
I'm not sure how to do that because it's
because you got the chocolate on the bottom.
Chocolate on the bottom.
I'll just go part way down. But it does look like a cake,
It does.
doesn't it? And you can see like a little bit of chocolate peeking up through. So
Yeah.
all right,
I think it's actually pretty. I don't know. We'll see. It's good. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's done.
With all the cocoa and the sugar, it'll be good.
Well, I'm sure it'll be sweet. I don't think that's going to be an issue. I'm sure it'll be very, very, very sweet. That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried that it'll be...
Yeah, but the pie crust might make it less sweet. What do you think?
Right. Well, you want a savory crust. You don't want to put any sugar in your pie crust, for sure.
Right.
Okay. So we're going to let this one cool. Mine's in the oven, and we'll update.
Yeah. Now we think.
Right. We haven't cut into it yet, but I just took mine out of the oven. And no, you can stay here, Mom. So I had a bowl of cereal because I didn't eat lunch. I just took mine out of the oven after about 27 minutes. So I had checked it, and I put the guard on just about 12 or 13 minutes in because it started browning, and it kind of like puffed up. But it came up like a cake. And it looks like a marble cake, but you can see like over here, this was just bubbling. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't look quite like Mom's because I put the chocolate on the top, but it definitely did go down through. Mm-hmm. It's interesting, huh? Okay, so we're gonna cool these and we're gonna cut into them, right? That's what we're gonna do. Okay. Okay, so we are going to cut these and compare. We're gonna do a little taste test. So Mom's pie is the one that was done according to the Mennonite cookbook with the chocolate sauce on the bottom. Mine was done according to the tutorial where I just carefully drizzled the chocolate sauce on top. So you wanna cut yours and I'll cut mine?
Okay.
See what happens?
Sure.
Okay, I don't cut pie as well as Mother does, but I'm gonna just take a small slice.
It doesn't really matter. Pie is pie.
Pie is pie.
But I'll do the middle.
I think it definitely looks like a cake. No question.
It cuts like a cake.
It does. Yeah.
Truly does.
Wondering if there's going to be a moisture difference. Oh, you're cutting the whole pie.
No, I'm just cutting it this way so that later the guys won't end up with humongous piece.
No.
You know how that works?
I'm wondering. Okay.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah. So there's
That's
like
pretty.
a layer. See, there's a layer of chocolate.
That's
Looks
pretty.
Kind of. Yeah. It cut pretty clean too. It smells good.
Mm-hmm.
It smells like we baked cake.
It's chocolate, so.
Yeah. Right. Do you wanna? You got it?
I'm not sure if that is. I'm not sure. It seems kind of gooey.
Mmm.
It feels kind of gooey.
Oh, that looks good. So I think she's got more chocolate on the bottom of hers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a
Wow.
stripe. That looks good.
Look at the difference.
I know, it's very different. I think
Okay.
yours looks a little more moist. I'm not sure.
This really does look like a coffee cake.
Yours does look like a coffee cake. I feel like we should be having coffee, but it's 5:30.
It's 5:30.
Okay. We're gonna. Now she said some sort of word before she did it, but we're not gonna do that.
Oh, yeah?
I don't remember what it was.
Oh, I didn't see that part. You know what? It's not nearly as sweet as I thought it would be.
It's not because the fudge is dark.
Mhm.
It's like a dark fudge, and it almost has a cornbread texture, don't you think?
Mhm. Yeah, it doesn't.
Mm-mm. This you definitely could have with coffee.
Absolutely.
It's not as sweet
It
as a
would
cake.
be a good morning
Yeah, right.
coffee
So
cake.
explain that. What you heard that they had it in the morning. Did Ada Marie tell you that?
Ada Marie said that. That they eat it, a lot of times they eat it there in Pennsylvania, they eat it for breakfast.
So the fudge is like a chewy, kind of stripy, thicker layer. Not like a, I don't know how to describe it.
Okay, now, I didn't eat off my fork, so I
I'm
need
good.
to taste yours, and you need to taste mine,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
Here, do it this way.
Right. It is the age of COVID, but we basically are our own. We're our own
We're
family
our
group.
own little family unit.
It doesn't really matter.
Right. But we are definitely more conscious of that these days.
We are.
All the way around.
Okay. I don't think it changed the flavor. The texture is a little different. But that could be baking technique. It could be your oven.
This one actually has a more of a chocolatey flavor. This one has a lighter flavor.
Yeah.
Don't you
so
think?
the chocolate did definitely.
Because it went
Yeah. There's little bits of chocolate through it.
Whereas,
This one,
oh no, wait a minute. Here's some
a
through
little bit.
a little bit,
Like it bubbled up.
but nothing like yours. So it kind of depends on what you want. If you want more of a chocolate, this one has a sweeter taste.
Mhm.
This one, on the other hand, I think would work really good as a breakfast.
I'm just shocked that it's not sweet. I really
too.
thought it was going to be super
I think
sweet.
it's really good.
It's actually very good.
It's very good.
Kind of fun. Yeah, this would be a great afternoon coffee
Oh, absolutely.
pie, right? So tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Yeah. And the chocolate next to the pie crust, like, I don't know how to
It's
describe it.
very good.
It's really good. Did my camera stop? Did we lose our
Your
video
battery.
because my battery went low? Sorry about that. The chocolate.
Well, we think it's very good.
Anyway,
That's the truth.
that's what we think. Okay.